Welcome to Manga Palate, and
Wait, what was
I say
that?
this with a heavy heart. No, you know what? You're laughing. You're laughing, but no one's ready for this. No one knew what we were going to do today. And in honor of the July 4th, the Independence Day of the United States of America, we went with one of the best American television shows of all time, Megas XLR. Which, yeah, I know what you're thinking. Manga Palette. Doesn't that imply like anime and manga? Not necessarily. Honestly, that was just the best way we could put it. What with the food theme and all, but we'll do whatever the fuck. We did Monster Prom. Don't expect it to just be just be anime. Although that will be the bulk of everything. And Megas XLR is such a good fucking show. And as a matter of fact, it's tangentially related to manga because of how many fucking anime and weird like Sentai references there are. Besides, among other things. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Pacicie Luna, and I know that was like really front loaded, but this week, our good pal Manga Chef Isaiah, say hello.
Hi, I'm Manga Chef Isaiah.
He really went for it with Megas XLR. So Megas XLR had 2 seasons, 26 episodes. Total, it ran from May 1st, 2004 to January 15th, 2005, and it is a show. Okay, like, here's what I want to say. This is the thing that I know. This show only exists because the creator's original show got canceled. So, okay, the guy's name is George Christick, and he used to work on a TV show called Downtown, which was about people just living in a city. So remember Goat, the guy who lives at the junkyard?
Yeah, junkyard guy.
He's from Downtown.
Oh, is
So
it an animated show?
yeah, it was an animated show. And so it gets canceled. It used to be on MTV. And you'll notice there's a running joke in Megas XLR where Pop TV always gets fucking wrecked.
Yep.
Something related to Pop TV gets wrecked. And it's because he was mad that MTV canceled the show.
But Cartoon Network also canceled this show. But
Yeah, but that's why he doesn't really do much now.
oh,
The point is, Megas XLR and Downtown are both really, really good shows. And there are, I guess you could say, 3 primary people on the show. Kiva, the woman from the future, which, yeah, we're going to have to explain that, is voiced by Wendy Lee, who is very, very well known for doing English voice acting that I'm not super familiar with. But that's because I don't really... So, she was Haruhi, the English voice of Haruhi Suzumiya. That was, like, something for me, because I was like, oh, I should know this name then. Why don't I? Fuck me, I feel stupid. She was the little weird Polynesian girl Sue on Love Hina. She was the female lead in Grenadier, which is a really, really weird show I'm going to have you watch at some point. She was Takadu, the little brother on Digimon. And she's still working, because she was Blanc from Nep Nep.
yeah, it all goes back to Nep Nep.
There is not a single... Isaiah, Manga Chef Isaiah, if I have to bring up someone's credits, I always try to go for the thing you're more likely to know. Because, let's be honest, you don't have an endless repository of things. You forget a lot of things really quickly. And to that end, I know there's things you don't forget, like Nep Nep. So if I can squeeze in Nep Nep, we're going to talk about Nep Nep. It's like before. Like before when it was
Yeah.
like, hey, you want to talk about Kami no Mi? Did everyone watch Kami no Mi? Probably not. We did. We did, and we really fucking loved it. So if I can wedge in Kami no Mi, you know I'm gonna wedge in Kami no Mi. Okay, so that's Kiva. There's Jamie, the dark-haired fellow who wears a hat and a sweater, skinny, wimpy guy. Did you recognize his voice? I feel you might know his
I
voice.
recognize the voice.
Yeah, but you don't know who it was?
No.
It was Steve Blum, a very, very famous actor, voice actor. He does a lot of things. I saw him in that movie, I Know That Voice, the documentary made by John DiMaggio, who voices Bender from Futurama, where he puts all his friends around. And Steve Blum is best known for being the English voice of Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. But he was also the lead Roger Smith in Big O. He was Mugen from Samurai Champloo, which I love Samurai Champloo, and he was one of the season 1 villain from Legend of Korra, Amon. So there's that.
Ah.
Coop, our hero, I guess.
Yeah.
He's likable. I'll give him that. Is voiced by David DeLuise. Now I don't expect you to know who he is, but I think you might, if only because it's you. David DeLuise, I was more surprised to find out was actually straight up the son of Dom DeLuise, a really funny actor. David DeLuise is the dad on Wizards of Waverly Place.
Nope. I never
No?
watched that.
Shit. I don't know. You used to watch a lot of live action dumb shit. I never did that. Instead, I was watching like Jigoku Shoujo like a weird creep. Alright, well fuck it. That was I was like really hoping you would know what the hell I was saying when I said that. Shit. Damn. Well, that's depressing. Worth mentioning. Lots of good people worked on this show. Like besides those three people, like a lot of the little minor characters are voiced by really famous guys like Rob Paulson, Kevin Michael Richardson, Phil Lamar, and fucking Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is straight up in episode 2. It's amazing, and he like basically fucks you with the fact that he's Bruce Campbell, and I love it. I love it so much.
Floating head guy.
Yeah, magnanimous. I don't expect you to know Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell's a great actor. That's all I'm gonna say. He makes like Evil Dead references when he says groovy. It's great. It's great. It's so good. Okay, so go ahead and tell them what the show's actually supposed to be about.
So, the first episode starts with the robot being attacked by the Glorfs, and Kiva is part of the Earth defense, like troops from the future.
I was really hoping you were gonna say Earth Defense Force so I could yell EDF, but no, you're right. The Allied Earth Army or some shit. I forget.
Yeah. So yeah, it's about to be destroyed, but they have this time flux unit, and it's the only way to save it.
What's the name of the robot, Isaiah?
Megas.
What does it stand for?
Mechanized Earth guard attack system.
What a fucking name, right?
Yeah.
That's a name. Go on.
So yeah, it malfunctions. They end up going to the past, which is the present.
Our
Earth.
present. Yeah, it was 2004.
Yeah, and they end up in a junkyard. Well, Megas ends up in a junkyard, and Coop just finds like anything in junkyard. The junkyard guy, what's his name again?
Goat.
Goat. Yeah, he says anything in junkyards for $2.
Okay,
So
so
he's a giant. Oh,
yeah.
say it. Okay.
the thing about Coop is he's like this really big, heavy guy who really loves his cars and video games. He's supposed to be a very generic, amicable 20-year-old dude who lives with his mom.
Yep.
And he was looking for parts for his car for some reason at the junkyard. And he keeps pulling shit and going like, hey goat, how much is this? It's like $2. Hey goat, how much is this? $2. Hey goat, how much is this? Dude, everything in that pile is $2. And then he pulls something and all the trash falls down and he sees Megas and he goes, $2, right? The best part of that is when he flies away with the robot later, Goat says, you never gave me the
My
$2. Yeah. Like the fact that he took the time to set up the robot with the car and also refused to give the man $2.
So good. He's
It's
like, nah.
$2. Actually, $2 for a giant robot. Also, so the I guess the joke to Megas XLR is he's a very generic regular guy, and he hooked up his car to a giant mech in a way that he can control the mech using video game remotes and other random buttons in his car. Which, I mean, you have to admit, he has to be some sort of weird engineering genius to be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
Because how the hell, how did you understand any of that? Because remember, throughout the series, Kiva's like, "Hey, we have to go find this part for the robot," and he goes, "The hell is that?" And the fact that he doesn't know half of the things in the robot makes me wonder how he successfully attached it to his car.
He's a genius.
Yeah, that's it. He's like a weird technological, like a engineering genius, but everything else he's like completely retarded, and that's why he's the best.
Oh, he's also good at video games.
He's so good at video games, which is why he set up the fucking robot to function with video game remotes. Also, there's like parts where I just see him using a PS2 remote, but like it has no labels, so it's not technically a PS2 remote.
It's
And I'm like,
basically just
that's amazing. Yeah, he'll like grab a PS2 remote and then like do whatever the hell he's doing to fight the bad guy, or then he'll grab like a Genesis remote and do the same thing. It's like, man, that's amazing that you were somehow able to wing it together, that you put together this robot with fucking shitty old console remotes that like have to have all types of different bizarre plugs and setups and digital signal transmissions. How are you so good at this, but also completely unaware of everything around you? So the show's called Megas XLR because Megas is the robot, right?
Yep.
Do you know what XLR stands for?
extra large.
Extra large robot.
So it's like a
So fucking
car,
good.
like a muscle car. They said.
Yeah, it's a Plymouth Barracuda, sorta.
But it's an
But-
extra large muscle car. 'Cause
Yeah.
it has a giant
No,
robot
no.
attached to it.
XLR stands for extra large robot. So it's Megas, which is
Ah,
mechanized Earth Guard attack system, and then extra large robot because that's what Coop called it. He's just like, I don't know, extra large robot, cool. So yeah, I mean, Coop's on Earth. Some of the Glorf got sent back in time also because of the fucking robot and the time flux capacitor. And well, they finally, now people have become aware of Megas' activity. Kiva finds him and goes like, "What did you do to my robot?" And he goes like, "Your robot. This is my robot. I found it at the junkyard for $2."
yeah. She's like, oh, I can't pilot it because you modified it too much with
Yeah.
your game system.
It's a PS2 remote. He just grabs a PS2 remote and then like makes the robot do suplexes. It's beautiful. It's funny. I don't really care about action in shows. I mean, we both have that problem, which is why we can't enjoy fight things, right? But watching Megas beat stuff up always makes me laugh because I'm like, you normally you see mecha shows like Gundam and shit where they have like giant swords and they do stuff like that. But instead, he's like pushing up and triangle to do a chain grab on a guy like he's playing Tekken 3, and and I'm amazed every time. It was like fucking other robots are like pulling out guns and missiles, and then Coop grabs it and does a German suplex, and it dies.
It goes through a building.
Yeah, he's constantly destroying buildings, which is another really funny part. That like they'll point out, like there'll be kids standing there, and then like they go like "Aww," and then you watch Mega suplex a robot into that building, and the kids go "Yeah!"
It was school, but yeah.
No. I mean, like, there's a bunch of other times random shit like that happens. It's
Yeah.
not always a school. Like,
Yeah.
like there's that one kid who just always shows up and he says, "Cool," and, like that's it. He'll watch Coop like destroy a building and then go, "Cool," and go back to slurping on a slushie. Like I don't know why I really like it. It's so funny. It's so funny to me. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, but I genuinely appreciate that about this show. And considering that happens at least once an episode, it's so good. Oh man. I mean that's yeah, and then the Glorf show up and then they get into a fight. Which so you want to say something about what Coop does every single time he gets into a fight?
He always wings it in the worst way possible.
Yeah. A lot of the times, if you like pause the show, you can see that like there's stuff written on the buttons that go, "Press the button that finishes the show." Like there's shit there that's like
Last 5 minutes of the show.
yeah, yeah. No, there's that one, and then there's the one that's like when he's getting energy from the bugs, and it's like, a lot, a little, a not, not enough, pretty good, too much, whoa, easy there, buddy. It's like, what the fuck? How did you build that LCD screen into your car? Why are these the settings you have on your car? It's amazing.
He just knows.
That's great. And the Glorf show, Coop gives a very long speech like he does every time he's about to murder the ever-loving shit out of somebody. And
it's always 3 points, like,
yeah,
you ruined my slushie, you made me wait at the DMV, and you went to kill Cube or something like that.
yeah, and you tried to hurt my friends. Like the last one will be the one that's like, all I wanted was a slushie, and you destroy all the things in town, you make it so I can't do this, and you try to kill my friends. It's like always the last one, because that's the one he thinks about the least. It's either that or the last one is the most innocuous. That's like, and you scratched my car. It's like, yeah,
you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, and then he goes nuts, and then he just starts pushing buttons, and he wins, as is the nature of most things. But I guess what I really like about Megas is the fact that it's all based on really, really weird references. Like the show itself, I watched it when I was like a kid, and I thought it was cool then. But like now, rewatching it as an adult, which I did both for this and my own thing, it's a lot funnier. Like a lot of the things are much more enjoyable. Like fucking the first scene in the second episode, Battle Royale, right? Like watching the robots, hearing the Scream Lord announcer go like, hey, "It's gonna brutalize her," blah. And then watching them go like clink, clink, as they like bump each other is like significantly funnier now because I remember things like that and how stupid they kinda are.
Yeah.
And then like it cuts to them laughing and like brutal as Megas is punching a robot in the face repeatedly.
It's always the same animation too.
Yeah, I know, but I like that animation.
Yeah.
There's something oddly charming and stiff about it that it's funny. Just watching it go like bum 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 bum. It's like, man, like when you watch stuff like fucking Gundam and Macross and it's all lasers and swords, you're like, oh man, that's how robots fight. So watching like this dude just punch a robot in the face like it had a mouth is oddly funny to me, I think. Every episode is just a dumb, wacky adventure. It's never really like there's this kind of the overarching theme of the Glorf they're going to get you, but like it doesn't really come up much, honestly.
Maybe the last episode and like when the
Yeah, last one, first one, and like somewhere within the 13 episodes for the first season, there's like another one. All right. So, since the show is mostly just goofy adventures where a guy and giant robot fucking fights things, do you have any particular favorites episodes from this season? I got a few.
Yeah. The spider robot.
Regis?
Regis the Destroyer.
Yeah. Regis Mark V. That was Phil Lamar. See? That's the guy who voiced like Samurai Jack and stuff. He was also a cast member on Mad TV.
Yeah, I just like the way he always says that line.
Oh, the way he talks in the third person?
Yeah.
The Regis Mark V will destroy you. This is the power of the Regis Mark V. Yeah.
In the beginning, it was just a little tiny spider. I'm like, everyone was just ignoring it.
Yeah, everyone was like kind of kicking it away, or like forgetting about it. Which I like that the fucking guy says the thing when they're transporting it. They're like, this thing could destroy systems. And you're like, man, why is it in our car then? I don't know. And then by the end of it, when they pick it back up, they're also drinking slushies.
Yeah.
So the entire episode is predicated, oh no, this robot is going to destroy everybody as it gets stronger and stronger. So the robot is like this weird little black spider. Yeah. And then what it does is it assimilates metal. And the more material it assimilates, the bigger and stronger it gets. So at first it's just kind of annoying and no one really gives a shit about it. but by the end of it, it's like really big and really destructive. But that's not really what Coop is paying attention to. He just wants to go buy a slushie. And the Regis keeps showing up and fighting him, and that's why he doesn't get the slushie. Either the machine gets destroyed in the process, or, the building gets fucked up. Something happens, and then he can't have the slushie. And then by the end, the Regis has destroyed all the slushies in New Jersey. All the slushie machines in New Jersey, and he goes apeshit.
Yeah.
Which, do you remember what Regis is short for?
No.
Replicant Engineered for Galactic Infiltration and Sabotage. I love
Wow.
I love the fucking acronyms in this show. Every time something has an acronym, it's like a really weird, long, stupid sentence. Like, you remember in Magnanimous, how he's supposed to be MODOK from fucking comic books?
Hmm.
Right. MODOK is mental organism designed only for killing. So, like, that's already kind of fucking stupid. And then every time you see something, it has a stupid name like that. I love that about the show. Okay, so you like that, and that episode was literally called "All I Wanted Was a Slushie."
Yeah. And at the end, he was like, "Wait, if he blows up the world, there'll be no slushies. He's gonna have to pay."
yeah. Coop only gets serious once he realizes that the end of the world means no more Mega-Slush, and then he doesn't even really super win because like Regis is powered by the sun. Like, it's a solar robot, which is cool. But, so in his attempt to fuck it up, his engine overheats, and then smog fills the air, and it can't be powered by the sun anymore if there's no sunlight, and that's how he wins. He didn't even really win. What a hero.
Yeah. That's another thing I like about the show. It's like, he doesn't, ever beat the guy, he just accidentally wins all the time.
Well, that's what I mean. He does win. He always wins. It's just not always a very clear, I beat him up.
And he always
Sometimes.
starts the problem too.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So, besides episode 3, what else did you like? Because my favorite episode is 6. The one where the Not Gotcha Man team show up.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Um, Besides that one, the one with the Galactical Prison Destroyer universes, that was fun too.
The one where he released the monster from a video game cartridge.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. That was the one right after that. That's called Breakout. So, Coop buys what he thinks is a game cartridge, and it turns out it's a virtual prison for aliens. Which, why? Why do aliens... How can aliens do that? You know what? I don't really think that matters, because the fact that they're aliens already says a lot.
Why
And
is
he
it in
just-
video game consoles?
Why is it exactly the same kind of size as a video game console? Also, how did that man get it? Because, it was on Earth. So, so many questions, but you know what? No, fuck it, it's here. And the monster's name is Gurkek the Planet Killer. Which, boy, what a name. When he eventually starts releasing all the other things from the fucking machine. And one of them looks like Gamera. And I think that's cool. And it's the little things that the show does like that is, really fucking funny.
Also, when the robots didn't come out all the way, so it's just half a robot.
Yeah, it's, stuck, and it's, kind of crawling on the ground. And in the end, he just puts it back in the cartridge, but not that cartridge, a different one. So now it's basically inside of, what was it, Happy Elf or something?
Yeah, it's something like that. And he was like, "I hate this planet.
Yeah, he
I
punches
demand you
it.
put me back to my prison."
He punches, this weird little Happy Elf, and it pops back up again and goes, "Don't you want a hug?" And he punches it, and then it comes back up. He's like, "God damn it! This is never gonna end. I'd rather just be in jail." And that's it.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
good.
Okay.
I liked most of the episodes, but those stood out the most.
I like the show in general, but the show's great. I think my favorite episode of the entire series is in the second season, but we're not talking about that one. We're talking about this one. And to that end, my favorite episode was episode 6, called Bad Guy. So I don't know if everybody remembers Gatchaman. That was that weird show where everyone's shaped like a bird. And they were made by fucking... In America, they're called G-Force. They like wear bird costumes, so it's like June the Swan, Joe the Condor, and shit like that. So it's not Gatchaman, but it's Gatchaman. Like they show up and they talk like the characters from Gatchaman. Like they have a certain way in which they phrase their sentences. And it's
I was
fucking
called Power Rangers.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but no, they're like literally Gatchaman. Like their costumes are actually just the Gatchaman costumes.
Uh,
Yeah, and you're thinking of the Super Sentai, which is yeah, sort of the same thing. That's what I mean by like Tokusatsu. I guess is the whole overall idea, like Kamen Rider and this. But I think they were more Gatchaman than they were Super Sentai, because yeah, they had the Zords, but like their costumes were almost look exactly like Gatchaman. Like the point where the girl has her hair sticking out of her helmet, like June the Swan. It's great. And then they had the thing that was like a fucking Zordon from Power Rangers, the first run of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which I can't remember what Sentai that was, like what the actual name was, but yeah, and it's just like a floating head, and it goes like, S Force, I need you to go stop this man who is horribly, horribly bullying a planet. And like, who is it? And it shows Coop, and it's not, and it's the same thing that we were talking about before, where you're like, oh, he always ends up destroying buildings. So, like, all the amount of collateral damage he causes makes them think he's a monster who's trying to hurt the Earth. Which is fair, because there's a lot of times he just crushes buildings.
but no one gets
Or,
hurt.
like,
There's signs
no
that
one
say
gets hurt.
conveniently empty building.
I
When he
like
destroys
that.
it.
Like, there's a hard, there's, like, pillow factory. Like, it, like, closed. And then he steps on it. It's
Yeah.
really good. You gotta give it to the guy who wrote the show, George Christic. He's got a really wicked sense of humor.
Yeah, it's different. But I
Yeah.
like it.
So then, like after they get told, "Hey, go." Also, there's before I mentioned they go. There's the one heavy guy, like the green one, who I can't remember what the fuck his name is supposed to be, like with the Gatchaman thing. But like he's like patting his stomach, and then someone goes, "Hey, you should cool it on those space burgers." And I was like, "Fuck you, space burgers." Did you actually just say space burgers? That's it? Space burgers. So burgers exist, and you need to delineate them as space burgers. All right.
Not
Fuck it.
Earth burgers.
No, space burgers.
Yeah.
The one and only. And Coop is at a hot dog competition. Like he's eating hot dogs.
Yeah.
And he wins because like he takes a half-eaten hot dog out of Goat's mouth and then finishes it, and the guy who's left competing with it runs away and vomits.
Well, he
Because
sticks his tongue out, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, but like it was the half-eaten hot dog. It
Yeah.
was weird. And then they gave him a little crown that said "Lord of the Large Pants," because that's your title now. And when the fucking and like when Kiva goes, how do you do that? He said, I've had many years of hard training to develop this refined appetite. And it just shows like a weird montage of him as a child just scarfing random bullshit in his house. And it shows him getting bigger and bigger over time and fatter because he just scarfs anything. Cuts back to him, he just like wistfully goes, many years. That's like weirdly Simpson-esque, you know what I mean? I like it. I like that joke. It's like in The Simpsons where he goes like he's reaching under the sofa for a peanut and he finds $20 and he goes like $20. I wanted a peanut, and then it just cuts to his head and he goes, "You fool! $20 can buy us many peanuts. Explain. Money can be exchanged for goods and services." Ooh, he just fucking goes to buy peanuts. That's that kind of joke that's like really bizarre but really funny. So the S Force shows up and they do poses because they're more or less a Sentai team. The Kiva just beats the ever loving shit out of most of them.
Yeah, they get beat by Coop too.
Yeah.
They're lame too.
They're really weak. I don't know. What I like is that Jamie goes to the one girl on the team and goes like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And like she kicks him in the chest, and he goes like, "So like want to go out or like what?" Like he's not even. He's that's who he is. I mean, like in the second episode, fucking Battle Royale, there's that part where he's like, "I want to go to the planet of the space Amazons" because he's reading a comic book about it. I
Like he was like, yeah, sure it exists.
yeah,
And at
that
the end
makes
of the episode, he goes to there and he's like getting beat up because it looks like he hit on one of the waitresses.
well, okay, right. So the thing about Megas is the credits are totally worth watching. They're also little sketches about shit that's happening. And you're right, but it was at a food court. So that implies that there's like a Space Amazon mall. And that they went to the mall and then they went to the food court. And the only way they could go to the food court was probably because Coop really, really wanted food again. And he just gets his shit rocked. Yeah, you're right. Man, that's who he is. Fantastic. And then after they get their shit pushed in, they go, get to the Zorbs. And it's like Zoids. It's like just Zoids. Well, it's a gorilla, a jaguar, a kangaroo, a rhino, and an eagle. The jaguar is the girl. I'm more surprised about the kangaroo, honestly. Because, like, the fuck was that?
That was the purple guy, right?
Yeah, it's the guy who doesn't talk. Exactly. He goes like brutal beep beep and weird shit like that.
It's
like it. Yeah, you said it, little buddy. And they all fucking laugh together. So like they put together the robot and he goes like, everyone, let's form the sutra. I wrote this down because it's like 8 words and I was like, I need to have this super ultra dimensional magno extreme robotidoid Zorb power Zorb. And it's just a Megazord. Which, in which case, Cube goes like, "Why are you trying to fight me?" And they go like, "We don't want you to terrorize this planet anymore." And they keep saying stuff like that, and then like he just sits there going like, "Huh." And they show him the footage of him destroying a bunch of shit, and he goes like, "Whoa, is that like a highlight reel? Could like I have a copy of that?" And they're like, "No more, villain." And he goes like, "Villain? Oh wait, I'm the good guy. Oh no, I'm not a bad guy." It took him like 10 minutes to realize why all of this was happening. And that's that he was already in his robot, just kind of sitting there. After repeatedly yelling, he just keeps smacking around and he hits a button that like shoots a missile and fucking destroys them.
And then
their villain shows up. It was like basically, what's his face? Megatron, I guess? And Megatron just goes like, "Hey, how about," they call him Ender. I remember that. And they go like, "Hey, how about you help me take over this world?" And he goes like, "What? No, I'm the good guy." And he goes like, "Yeah, I don't really see that." And they get into a fight. He gets his shit wrecked. And then like the stupid S-Force guys, they can't fight him. But I like that they had a moment where they're like, "Of course you were working with Ender. Does your evil know no bounds?" He's like, "I'm the good guy." That's the only thing he yells at them, like repeatedly. And I like when he takes the robots and just shoves them on his feet.
Yeah, that was brutal.
That was fucking nuts. Like, so he's out of juice. They're not doing great. He's like, "I got a plan." And they go like, "Your plan is insane." He's like, "Trust me." They go like, "No, we'll never help you." And he just like grabs one of them, like, because the Zorbs are, just basically like little Zoids. And like grabs one of them and just shoves it on his foot, like he's trying to put on a shoe. And you watch the robot collapse around one of the S-Force all the S-Force members, as the robot's getting fucking destroyed. And like grabs the Jaguar, just puts it on his fist. He's like, "Fuck you." There's the part where the leader, the red guy, he's like flying around, and he goes like, "Don't worry, team, I'll save you." He just grabs it out the sky. It makes like a chicken noise, and he puts it on his back.
They had like no chance for the whole episode.
Oh yeah, no, they lost. They lost hard. I don't know why. I really thought that was funny. And like hearing the green guy with the gorilla, he's like crying. He's like, "My beautiful Zorb." It's like, shut the fuck up, man. We got stuff to do. Or rather, I have stuff to do. I don't care whether or not you want to be part of it. And he ends up pushing like a button that creates a black matter antimatter rift. That's what they called it. It's basically just a black hole that keeps expanding and eating things. And they go, "Oh, it's never going to stop. It's going to eat everything." And then Ender is going to die. So like Megatron gets sucked into the thing and goes like, "Wow, you're more evil than I ever could have imagined." And he goes, "Stop calling me evil." And everyone goes like, "How are you going to stop it?" It's like, "No, it's our ultimate weapon." It's like, You can't stop it. He goes like, it's just gonna eat and eat until it eats everything. He goes, eat, huh? Eat! Yeah! If there's anything I know, it's eating. And there's something I know about eating is you have to pace yourself. So he shoots another one out, and they cancel each other out. And then they're like, all right, fantastic.
That made no
Super
sense. But okay.
To be fair, matter antimatter rift in and of itself isn't super clear. But
Yeah.
fuck it. So they go like, wow, he saved the day. And the fucking S-Force guys continue. Also, I love that the S-Force guys have that weird, like, trumpet sting in their background that really reminds me of, like, 70s shonen hero stuff. Ba 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 da 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 da. You know? That's, like, really fun. I don't know why. I just think it's really funny. And so in the end, they go back to their place, but now they're all like Coop because they think Coop is super cool. So like, there's like a part where the girl comes in, the Jaguar robot, and just shatters through the door. He's like, check this out, yo! And then she like fucking makes the Jaguar robot suplex the table that they're eating on. And the Jaguar robot now has like flames painted on it. It's beautiful. I don't know why. And then it just and the fucking weird speech impediment guy goes boop, 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 word, and like that. And then they cut to the fucking Zorda. He's like crying. He's like the most well refined fighting team in the universe destroyed. It just looks really sad. While they're like eating burgers and fucking playing video games. And that's the end of the episode.
Oh,
He just cries ruined as they're doing stupid shit. Oh man. That's so funny to me. All of that, the entire episode was fantastic. I don't know why. Maybe because it's so like hard on the Super Sentai thing that it really made me laugh. There's an episode of season 2 called Ultra Chicks that's like also Sentai but also Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon. Oof, what an episode. Alright, anything else? You really liked that episode about you said the breakout.
yeah. I guess I have one more with the like planet with the flames going out for 10,000 years, and Coop just teleports and destroys
right.
it.
Coup d'etat, where he goes to the planet of the robot people, and the flame of Azeroth, and when he lands there, fucking just lands on it and destroys it. Amazing. Oof. All right, well, go ahead. Bring up anything you wanted to say about that. 'Cause that premise alone is already fantastic.
They're like sent to find him after they destroyed him to become the new emperor, and he's like messing around with the warp. I forgot what they called it,
Yeah.
but it was stuck in his cash register. I mean, his change.
Yeah, his little change drawer.
dispenser. Yeah, and he just takes it out and like destroys it.
I also love when he does the fucking flame sword thing with his hands.
Yeah, he's like, new installment. And they're like, oh, you must be the Emperor of Azeroth. Or the chosen by Azeroth.
Yeah. The fuck? Isn't that amazing? Like, the show just goes to random bullshit every single episode.
It was like, what did I just watch the whole time?
It's great, though. Like, fucking Regis alone, Regis's existence is already pretty solid. Just the fact that it's a little spider robot that grabs things and then gets. Remember how it like goes up to a fucking fire hydrant and it's like, the Regis insists on being taken to your leader, and it's a fucking fire hydrant, so it doesn't do anything.
It was like, you don't stand down, I'll have to destroy you.
Yeah, if you do not, if you persist in resisting, the Regis will eliminate you.
And then it just cuts away to the fire hydrant.
Yeah, it cuts to like a silent fire hydrant, and then it goes like, the Regis will have no choice but to destroy you. And he fucking shoots a laser, And then he like scuttles away, very proud of himself, going, "Nothing can stop the Regis Mark V." It's like, oh yeah, you beat up a fire hydrant. Cool, little robot buddy. Cool.
Also,
It's
the prisoners that were in, or the people that were in charge of like the carriage for the Regis. I guess they got like sent to punishment, and now they're like picking up trash throughout
oh
the
yeah,
whole show now.
they dropped it. Well, I think they were picking up pieces of the busted up shitty Regises.
Yeah, but they're in
Remember?
the other episode too,
Oh yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
like planet that eats the Earth.
The
or
radio
whatever.
waves.
Yeah.
The weird living creature that eats radio waves.
Yeah.
Which once again, Koopa goes, I understand. Eating is hard. Let's overfeed it. The ways in which he comes up with the victories are always really funny. Something about it bringing it back to food is like, yeah, all right. Is there anything else you know? Wrestling? Anything else? Do you remember when he had to use the fucking manual controls and what that meant was a DDR pad?
Yeah, and he was bad at it.
Oh, he was awful at it. I think but the fact that he A, found a DDA arcade machine, and B, found a way to hook it up to the robot.
I like the flashback where the girls are like, "Loser, haha, he's so fat."
Yeah, there's a lot of like cutaways. Like I said before in Bad Guy, where it's just like it takes many years, and it's like just a montage of him as a child eating a bunch of garbage. There's a lot of that that like makes me laugh.
Like the thing about the show though is like it doesn't make me like hard laugh. I don't know how to say it.
Ah, okay.
Like
You don't
continually
really,
laugh for a while, but it sticks around because it's so weird.
you don't really go fall. To me, the fact that it's so weird is what makes me laugh. Because it's a certain, I don't know, it's a weird kind of humor that's like derived off of more of the overt complexity of the statement. That's funnier. It's like I said, it's like the Simpsons thing where he's like, he just talks to himself in his head, where the idea that he's talking to himself is what makes it funny, not so much the conversation. So to me, like the whole point of seeing a robot German suplex another robot is funny because of the way I view robots thanks to mecha anime. So it's like just the and the way that like every single time he's going to fight something, he'll accidentally hit a button and it just has new powers all of a sudden. Like in Battle Royale, there's moments where he like just shoots fireballs and it's like, where, when, how did that happen? And it never comes up again.
Nope.
Or when he does like the Phoenix explosion with the bugs and bug in the system. Like when does that ever come up again? It doesn't. It just kind of looked rad, didn't it? And it's like, yeah, all right, that's a good enough reason for me. And I get that like the some of the weird like bizarre cutaway jokes aren't super funny, or like they're worth a chuckle but not like a fucking hard laugh. But like there's that scene in the DMV episode where he's just like imagining what he would do if he had the robot, and it just shows him repeatedly stepping on the building. That made me laugh really, really hard because it's like, why are you like choosing to blame the weird bureaucratic system on the building, and also you realize that would kill a bunch of people, right? Or
Yeah,
do you
there's no
think that
DMV
like?
there.
Do you think that if you eliminate the building, the DMV will no longer exist? What is going through your head, dude? Also, that's a really petty fucking thing to do. It's like all those things put together are what make it so much funny to me. Not just him stepping on the building, you know? But
Think
if
about like everything that could
well,
happen.
that's how I think in general.
Yeah.
That's why I like what I like. So yeah, and I mean like the thing about the fucking Regis is being able to look at the fucking fire hydrant and going, yeah, it's a fire hydrant. It doesn't talk, dude. Like what the fuck? That's why like the Regis expecting the answer is so funny. Because it's like seeing a fella talk to a tree and then like be upset that the tree is ignoring him. Like that's how I think of it, and that's why it's funny to me.
I thought it was like highly intelligent robot doesn't
Yeah,
understand what a fire hydrant is.
right. And that's because it's never seen a fire hydrant before, because it's not from Earth. But my larger question is, if you've been on Earth for long enough to see things, how the hell can you not understand what it is? Like, I understand maybe not having it in its memory, but is it so difficult to think that maybe the things that are talking are the things you should talk to, rather than inanimate objects?
He never attacked the humans. I guess he only
Everyone
looks at
wants
metal.
to- I mean, yeah, well, he needs it to get bigger, but, oh, fucking, yeah. Or, like, when he goes to see his fucking friends at the, oh, no, wait, was that in this season? I can't remember. No, that's in the next one. The one where he gets his car off of the robot to do or no, he goes to the auto show with his robot.
That was the season.
Was it?
Yeah, because then they had the green muscle car he always loses to.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. That it's like, yo, check it. We're gonna tow this truck with our cars, and then it's like the giant robot next to the car. So it's like, oh, we're gonna tow this car. It's like, and it just fucking flies.
Or no, the truck only moved the front part of it
Yeah.
because it's too
Yeah.
strong.
He ripped off the fender,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. It just flies. And like meanwhile, the other car he's like driving. He's like, man, that's a real nice robot, but it's not better than my car, man. And I'm like, this conversation is stupid. I love it. Like, that's what makes me laugh. The whole overall idea that we're going to pit this car against the robot.
Or when he's on like the Jersey Turnpike, and he's just in traffic with the other
Yeah,
people.
he's just standing there. Exactly, because he's like, man, I need people to move. It's like, you're a fucking flying robot. Just fly over. It's like, no, he's not. He's gonna drive, which for him is walking with a giant robot. There, see, like, that idea just makes me laugh. I don't know.
Yeah, and one guy cuts him off, and he's like, "I'll show you," and puts him on top of a building,
Yeah.
and that's it for him.
Exactly. See, like, the way I look at it, the overall thing is what makes it funnier rather than just the event itself.
Yeah, that's what I like about the show.
Yeah.
But
I get if it's not a hard laugh. I'm just saying that that's why I get the hard laugh. Because of everything around it.
well, that's why I like the show. But yeah,
It's a great show. Okie dokie. I mean, there's nothing really more to say, I guess, right?
didn't you want to say like why they made this show in the first place?
Oh, no, I already did that up top.
Oh yeah, because he hates
And made the
MTV.
show because he got canned by MTV.
Oh, that was
And
it.
it's really the entire fuel of this. It's like, fuck you. I'll get a better show. It'll be jokey about all the stupid stuff I like Godzilla and robots, and it's basically like, remember that joke from Futurama where like Bender goes like, "Oh, I'll go get my own moon lander with the blackjack and hookers," right?
I don't remember it.
There's like it's like the first or second episode of Futurama where the fucking Fry and Leela are hiding in the moon lander that like the Apollo 11 or whatever, and they go, "Oh, Bender won't fit, but he's fine because he's not gonna freeze to death." And then Bender goes like, "Oh, no room for Bender? That's fine. No, that's fine. I'll go get my own moon lander with blackjack and hookers. You know what? Forget the blackjack. No, forget the hookers. Forget the whole thing." It just fucking leaves. Like, that's how I feel. Like, George left MTV. He's like, okay, fine, fuck you. I'll make a new show with like robots and anime. It's gonna be great. Fuck you.
And it was great.
And it's better. It's better than most other things I've seen in my lifetime. The fucking aliens, just the fact that they're standing around, and they go like, huh. Or when they goes to the fucking battle ring, right? Like Jamie wants to bet on Megas, and he just pulls out everything in his pocket and goes like, put it all on the new guy and let it ride. And then the fucking alien throws away the coins, and he keeps like lint and gum and a paperclip. He's like, all right. So it's like the aliens saw more value in chewed up gum than in American currency.
What do you do with this?
Yeah, he looked at it like, well, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. And then he just kept all the garbage. And he was like, all right, well. So that makes me wonder where the fuck in the universe, like, a paperclip is worth money.
I don't know.
Like pocket lint is more valuable than a nickel. And there's like a society where pocket lint is reasonable currency.
Oh yeah, also the episode where he helps the rhinos, or the giant things that look like rhinos, like get free from the bounty hunter that was enslaving them with the necklace. That's funny too.
Oh yeah, and they're like all well educated. If you think they're gonna be like dumb, and you're like, no, actually, thank you very much. This collar has been quite a nuisance to all of us. We are a very well sapient species. And then they just like fucking walks off peacefully. I was like, all right, well, that happens.
At the end, they're like throwing trash at the bounty hunter.
Yeah, and they're like drinking tea. they're just having a good old time. It's all those things, little things add up to make this a really, really fun and bizarre show.
Yeah, it sticks out.
Oh yeah,
all other stuff.
It doesn't take itself seriously, which is probably the best part of it. Like a lot of shows that do like stupid fight things, or like do like are influenced by anime, usually try to go with like, let's be a serious narrative, you know. But Megas is more like, nah, I like all this dumb shit. Let me just, show you. And then it goes for it all the way. Like the times when I hit a button, he didn't realize he was gonna hit that button, and the missiles fly out and kill like some robot guy in the distance. Or when he punches a tree so that the tree falls down and then crushes the guy.
Yeah, it happens so many times though.
It's so dumb. I love it.
Or when he tries to revive the place that has all the information, the planet, the donut.
Right,
planet.
giant ring world.
He just ends up pushing it like a stack of bookshelves because it comes back to him as a kid, messing up the stuff with the bookshelves.
Well, it's like, this is a library? No, I don't do good in libraries. And it's the memory of him pushing over a bookshelf and having the entire library collapse. And then at the end when it happens again, he goes, I told you I'm not good at libraries. I'm awful. And it's like the ring world. Yeah, and the ring world is filled with like fucking all the information of the universe, supposedly. And like all of that information is just gone now. This is gone. It's been destroyed because somebody was like, he leaned on it. Because the robot leaned on one of them, everything came down. And that's that he spent the entire episode fighting these bugs and trying to find a way to fight them without destroying everything. And he did. But that's not why everything fell apart. None of that is why everything fell apart. It's like a Shaggy Dog story, you know, where in the end nothing really mattered.
Yep.
I love
it's
that.
Like, why'd you even watch the episode?
Yeah, but that makes me the happiest. Because it's every episode.
And I like the way that Kiva's always just like, why am I with these guys? You know what? Forget it. She's just dead now.
Yeah. There comes a point where she just has come to accept everything that's happening and is just more focused on getting Coop to get good at the robot. Because she's like, you know what? There's nothing I can really do at this point besides make sure he's good with the robot.
Oh yeah, when she goes shopping, she only wants things for combat training. So she's talking to the shopkeeper like, can this help me defend against blind attacks? Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, whatever. Just buy it or leave it. Then she gets kicked out.
Yeah. Like the idea of like going to a store and then grabbing a dress and going like, all right, so how good is this against a photon beam? And he goes like, what? Because that's the only way. I guess she's spending her entire life fighting the Glorf. Yeah, that's kind of the only way she thinks. But fuck, man, that's amazing. That little thing says a lot about her interactions with everyone except for Coop and Jamie.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to bring up is the opening. It's really good, really catchy.
Yeah, it's literally just a dude saying "chicks dig giant robots." He's like talking about, hey, don't you love giant robots? I love giant robots. You should love giant robots. Chicks love giant robots. It's actually a whole song, honestly. It's a rockabilly style song, so like the guitar solo is pretty interesting. But that's its own thing.
And then they always say nice.
Yeah,
The way
well,
Jimmy says it.
it punctuates itself with nice. Which I love that, like, so when they have the little panels where they should, like, show a person and then the action that best fits them. So, like, shows Coop going nuts and, like, slamming his head against the fucking button. It shows Kiva doing her sort of, like, weird martial arts thing. That's just Jamie just getting slapped by a girl.
That's Jamie.
Probably said something really gross. So the girl's like, fuck you, when she hits him. Ah, what a hero. I really wish we had watched the second season only because, like, 2 of my favorite episodes are in that season. Like, the best episode of the entire show. With not Captain Harlock and then not Sailor Moon. Like, alright, so you know how they had the episode that was, like, not Gotcha Man in the season, right?
Yeah.
They go really hard on that in the second season.
Not Sailor Moon. Is that why it got canceled?
I don't know. There's like an episode where he's watching his little cousin Skippy, and it just becomes a bunch of jokes about Scooby Doo and Scrappy, and how Skippy sucks, like Scrappy sucked. And then there's that episode where he's like, he's got to return a fucking video, and then ends up having a bunch of fights with people, and he just really, really wants to get the VHS back to the shop. The S-Force show up again. Because they need help.
And Coop's like the hero, so.
Yeah, he's totally their hero now. Now that they like fucking painted flames on their robots and shit.
The Jaguar flames.
That's
That's
but, like,
funny.
Like, I think about the pink Jaguar, and then I remember the fire on it, and then it does the body slam on the fucking on the table, and then just go radical, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Guys, check this out.
Yeah. Check this out, yo. And then the fucking suplexes the robot. And then the little guy gets like, word. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Oh man, I love this show so much. Okay, so here comes the hard part. Food. You told me before we started the show you might have something, and I might like it. So let's see if this is as good as Fuka, and then it's just one and done, and we don't even need to go over it.
Mega-Slushy.
Ah, Mega-Slush.
So no matter what we do for Mega-Slush, it always ends up as being a disaster.
Is the Mega-Slush a disaster?
It gives you brain freeze.
I mean,
Not used to it.
if you drink really fast, yeah.
Yeah.
My only thing with the slushy is that... Okay, do you mean slushies in general, or do you mean the one that was literally in the show with 3 different flavors?
No, slushies in general.
Okay, because I feel like we should go more with, like, it's a bunch of different... Like, it's a multi-flavored slushy. Like, you ever go to a 7-Eleven and, like, mix a bunch of different ones together?
Yeah, I do that. I feel like coconut and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's more like that, because of all of the different things that are mashed together to make this show even work. You know? It has weird Simpson-esque humor, but it also has, like, really, really heavy references. Like, the fact that Bruce Campbell makes a reference to Evil Dead when he's playing Magnanimous, he puts the sunglasses on and goes, groovy. Which, like, to anyone that might seem like just kind of out of place, but if you've seen the Evil Dead movies where Bruce Campbell is the lead, Ash, then you recognize that he's doing that specifically as a reference to when he got the chainsaw arm and the fucking shotgun. And it's like, oh wow, that's a really weird thing to toss in there. And the fact that there's an episode that is just Coop being annoyed by the Gotcha Man guys is like, there's a lot of things going on in this show. And yet it's all really, really great.
Yeah.
And it's all very temporary because once you finish it, it's done. Nothing really mattered. It's over.
And it could, like, mess up your car.
I can mess up a lot of things if you spill it.
Yeah.
So, how about that? Like a mixed Slurpee.
Do you want to call it the thing they call in the show?
Oh, you want to call it the actual Mega-Slush? Yeah, let's call it a Mega-Slush.
Trifecta Mega-Slushy.
Yeah. That was the fact that the entire episode is predicated on the fact that he wants a slushie is amazing to me. He's like, you got your blueberry blast, you got your what was it, like cold freeze cherry or some shit. I remember it was just like a cup with like 3 different holes in it to put 3 different flavors. What a what an inch! I mean, like, look, I want slushies too sometimes. I just like that, like everything was predicated on the slushie, and then at the end, nothing mattered. Didn't even really win.
You just swinged it.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we're good, right?
Yep.
Well,
That's it for Manga Palate this week.
that's it for Manga Palate this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd say give Megas a shot if you're interested. It's a lot of shit. It's really weird and really goofy. And I mean, if you're listening, then you get it.
You guys get it.
Yeah, you gotta get it. Bye.